What you think about when you're born into a fire. Let 'em burn it out. Sell 'em to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now. Because we're
Hey, what's up, guys?
now. Beat the odds, beat the big house. The brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away. Burn away, we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To play, haters face the world's mistakes.
What's up, Sage?
Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. And we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To play, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway.
All right, let's stop that and roll the intro. What's up? We're all
Hey
blocked.
Daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued
Oh, Dex
in
page.
is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Oh, welcome, everybody. I am Will Bird, and this is the Cold Beer Confessional. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. Welcome, everybody. Yeah, what's up? I got a couple things to go over tonight. Some stuff that I found interesting. Hopefully you will too. If you want to support the show, do it at buymeacoffee.com/coldbeer. That's the website here. Buymeacoffee.com/coldbeer. Use bits or super chats or whatever the fuck you want to do. It doesn't matter to me. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Tsuka was for some reason spreading a rumor that I retired. I don't know what that was about, but hopefully she's back under control. Unbelievable, a word I'm using far too much these days. Anti-Islamic U.S. biker gang members run security at deadly Gaza aid sites. What? Anti-Islamic U.S. biker gang is running security at deadly Gaza aid sites. We're going to have to look at the firm guarding sites where aid is distributed in Gaza has been using members of U.S. biker gang with a history of hostility towards Islam to run its armed security, a BBC investigation has found. BBC News has confirmed the identities of 10 members of the Infidels Motorcycle Club working in Gaza for UG Solutions, a private contractor providing security at Gaza Humanitarian Foundation sites, where hundreds of civilians seeking food have been killed in scenes of chaos and gunfire. We can reveal that 7 members of the gang are in senior positions overseeing sites at the controversial aid operation backed by Israel and U.S. President Donald Trump. This is the worst thing ever. This is the worst people ever to put in charge of that. UG Solutions, UGS, defended its employees' qualifications for the job, saying it does not screen people for personal hobbies or affiliations unrelated to job performance. The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation said it has zero tolerance policy for any hateful, discriminatory biases or conduct. Infidels Motorcycle Club was set up by U.S. military veterans of the Iraq War in 2006, and members see themselves as modern crusaders, using the Crusader cross as their symbol, a reference to the medieval Christians who fought Muslims for control of Jerusalem. The gang is currently hosting an anti-Muslim hate speech on its Facebook page and has previously held a pig roast in defiance of Islamic holy month of Ramadan. Putting the Infidels Biker Club in charge of delivering humanitarian aid in Gaza is like putting the KKK in charge of delivering humanitarian aid in Sudan. It makes no sense whatsoever, said Edward Ahmed Mitchell, Deputy Director of the Council of American Islamic Relations, CARE, a leading Muslim civil rights organization in the U.S. It's bound to lead to violence, and that's exactly what we've seen happen in Gaza. The gang's leader, Johnny Taz Mulford, is a former sergeant in the U.S. Army who was punished for conspiracy to commit bribery, theft, and making false statements to military authorities. From May to August, he was country team leader running UG Solutions contract in Gaza. We emailed Infidels Motorcycle Club for comment. In response, Mr. Mulford instructed fellow leaders of the biker gang not to reply, but included the BBC when he clicked reply all. Oh, no. So he clicked reply all and forgot that the BBC sent it to him. He inadvertently disclosing email addresses and names of fellow Infidels Motorcycle Club members, some of whom were working in Gaza. By matching up names with public information about Infidels MC leadership and evidence from UG Solutions insiders who worked with them, we have identified 10 members of the Infidels Motorcycle Club who Mr. Mulford recruited to work with him in Gaza. So this is the way these things usually work. Like contractors like this, one guy gets like an amazing job. He's like, you wouldn't believe it. I'm making, 5 times the amount of money in 6 months I would make all year back home. And then I got to get my friends on. Like even when I worked on the road doing construction, I'm sure there was tons of people that were qualified for that job, that would love that job, that would like to do shutdown work. But I didn't know random people. So when the company said, hey, we need 12 bodies, I'd be like, oh, I got 12 friends that can do it. So it seems like one of these people, probably this leader, got the job and then brought all his buddies along with him. In addition to Mr. Mulford, we'd have identified 3 leading members of the Infidels MC who also have senior roles at USG's Gaza operation. Larry J. Rod Jarrett, who has been publicly named as the Infidels Motorcycle Club vice president and is in charge of logistics. The gang's national treasurer, Bill St. Sieb, who leads the security team for one of GHF's 4 safe distribution sites. One of the gang's founding members, Richard A. Tracker Lofton, a team leader at another distribution site. Confidential documents, open source information, and former UGS contractors have enabled us to confirm the identities of a further 6 infidel bikers hired to work in Gaza. 3 of them are leaders or deputy leaders of the firm's armed security teams. Mr. Jarrett, Mr. Sieb, and Mr. Lofton did not respond to requests for comment. Wow. So apparently this was posted in their anybody that follows him on Facebook, he says if you have a combat arms MOS, which would be like infantry, scout, even tanker, I guess is technically combat arms. If you have a combat arms MOS, can still shoot, move, and communicate, this will be tested, and can leave within the next 12 hours, text me and let's chat. And he shared his phone number. I'd do that job. I'm sure they're getting paid out the ass, but they're not the people that should be doing the job, right? The Infidels Motorcycle Club is in fucking Gaza. Holy shit. Anyways, Dr. J shared that. I just saw it for the first time. I wasn't paying attention. All right. I told you guys that Phil lost at the Supreme Court, right? I have the information here pulled up that Tim Hinton sent out. It is the Superior Court of Pennsylvania appeal docket number 1440 MDA 2024. Phil Godlewski v. Chris Kelly appeal from the order entered on September 3rd, 2024 of the Court of Common Pleas of Lackawanna County. I'm not going to read all this. I'll give you the table of contents. It says counterstatement on the case. Philip Godlewski's 2010-2011 criminal case and Godlewski's role as leader in the QAnon movement while also working as a realtor in the events at the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. Then we have the summary of the argument. Then we have the argument. And then we have the conclusion. That's where we're going to jump to is the conclusion. So give me just a second, and I'll at least read some of this off here. This is over 100 pages long. If you guys want me to break it down or share it, maybe, that might be easier. But I can't do a 3-hour show just reading this document.
Just resubscribed for 15 months.
Thank you for the resubscription. I appreciate it. FR Fox. Conclusion. Facts are stubborn things. A quote from Ronald Reagan. The focus of this article, is the QAnon movement, its false conspiracy theories, and its detrimental effect on society, and Godlewski, a local resident, being a leading figure in the movement. These are matters of public concern. By his own admission, plaintiff is a leading voice for the Q movement. The central tenet of the QAnon movement is there would be a worldwide cabal of pedophiles trafficking children to be sexually abused. As a person sending out QAnon broadcasts to millions of people, warning them about the cabal, Godlewski was fair game to have his own criminal history of corrupting the morals of a minor publicized in the newspaper. Godlewski's fictional account about how he corrupted a minor is ludicrous and completely unsupported by the criminal case records. The trial court committed no error of law in determining Godlewski produced insufficient evidence to consider or to counter the Scranton Times motion for summary judgment on the issue of falsity, right? So it wasn't like the Scranton Times just had a better case, right? That's obviously not true. They just said he can't prove that what we said isn't true. Boom, gone. Summary judgment. The sum total of Godlewski's evidence is his denial of a sexual relationship with a minor and his denial that the 2010 text messages on the spreadsheet are his. Godlewski does admit he sent the victim the following text in November of 2022. This is a quote. Ready? Bree, I'm going into the next Trump administration as a political advisor and intelligence figure. My public persona is going absolutely nowhere. In fact, it's accelerating rapidly. There might be 10 million that know me now, but there will be 300 million that know me in 5 years from now. And I have to deny. I could have instead praised you for your honesty and called you a lifelong friend in front of millions. But you signed that affidavit. You see it now? This gets worse, not better, way worse. So not only is he so delusional, he tells his followers that he's going to be working for Trump. He tried to use that as a threat. Like, we could have been friends. We could have worked together. We could have done this. I could have brought you along with me, but you signed that affidavit. Godlewski produced this recent text message after the sanctions hearing on February 6, 2023. Godlewski will deny the truth, but the evidence the Scranton Times has provided speaks the truth. Godlewski's text messages with the minor released by a court order are stubborn things. The guilty plea to the corruption charge is another stubborn thing. Yes, so basically, Phil Godlewski admitted that in a plea deal that he had a relationship with this minor. because he took a plea deal, it reduced it to corruption of minors, which should have never been done, but it did, right? And that's mostly because the minor decided not to testify against him, okay? Now, because the minor decided not to testify and this all got reduced to, he wants to put a spin on it and say, no, I never had a relationship with her. The corruption of the morals of minors charge was because I text her, or because I tried to counsel her, or I'm not a psychiatrist and I was texting her about her life and stuff. Like he tried to spin all of this out of the out to where he just come out squeaky clean. Like maybe he made a mistake texting a minor, but that was it. But he forgets that he admitted to what he was charged with when he took his guilty plea. Just because they reduced it doesn't change the facts of the case. The Scranton Times is entitled to a summary judgment because the Scranton Times have proved the truth of its statements, and Godlewski has not satisfied his burden of proof, proving the falsity of the statements in the article. Kelly's statements about QAnon, the January 6th insurrection, or Godlewski being an unrealtor are either not capable of defamatory meaning or they are protected opinions. The trial court's ruling that Godlewski failed to prove the Scranton Times published any false statements about plaintiff with actual malice was also supported by the record and not an error of law. Phil basically took this to the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, right? The highest appeals court in Pennsylvania. His evidence falls woefully short of the bar for the clear and convincing burden of proof. Godlewski's false light claim was properly dismissed for the same reasons that befell his defamation claims. The Scranton Times respectfully requests that the trial court's order granting summary judgment be affirmed in its entirety. And it was. That was their decision. They decided to affirm the lower court's ruling. All right, so you're still on probation at the time. Oh, they included a transcript here. Motion to withdraw guilty plea. That's when he tried to withdraw his guilty plea because the court, the judge wouldn't accept it. So I get this email from Tim, and I'll just read it to you. The Superior Court confirmed Judge Nealon's decision on all issues across the board. Phil failed, right? Everything he said, wait till the Supreme Court gets a hold of this. So they've been railroading me. You wouldn't believe how they don't understand the law, and this judge needs to go, and he should have been fired years ago. They affirmed it on all issues. And I just said, that's awesome. Can't wait to read it. Thanks for the update. And he said, yeah, you're welcome. So shout out to the Scranton Times. How long has this been? Like, God damn, this has been like 3 years he's been suing them, right? So congratulations, Scranton Times. I'm glad their shit is finally over, dude. They could have easily pulled like what some of these other agencies are doing, like with Trump and shit. They could have easily settled and probably saved money on a lawyer, depending on what Phil was asking for. But I'm glad they stood up. I'm glad they got what they were looking for. Here, we changes speed here. You want to see what happens when you give a meth head $40?
$10 feet. Look at that. Eventually, y'all get run out of things to make cameras. 10 feet outside. 10 feet. Look at that. I mean, I was right outside the door. Not all of them.
If you're wondering what this is, those are rocks within 10 feet of his front door.
Outside the door. Not all of them microphones. Some of them's cameras. Some of them's cameras.
He claims that some of them are microphones, some of them are cameras.
Microphones. Some of them's cameras. Some of them's cameras. So you'll get to eventually you'll run out of a lot of stuff to make them out of before I quit finding stuff to find them in. Because I'm looking. I'm looking. I know. I'm everywhere I go.
I think he's just making a joke, but it is pretty funny. There was so many comments about that's my uncle or that's so and so. That's when meth head blah 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 whatever. I don't know. He seems like he's like it's legit and he recorded it, but maybe he's making a joke. We'll see. We'll keep up with him. That was Kirk. That was Scott. Did you guys, if you watched the end of the show last night, Scott Rogers was accused of being the shooter. So that's a thing.
I think the issue is that you guys are saying that.
So this is Don Lemon. Don Lemon finally got up in Nancy Mace's face, and he asked a very good question that obviously she can't respond to.
I think the issue is
not genuinely. She has to blame it on the left and say Charlie Kirk just died. Blah blah. What?
I think
but it's pretty good.
Is that you guys are saying that it mostly happens on the left. No statistic, no government statistic, no study group, the Cato Institute, the Anti-Defamation League, the FBI.
The Cato Institute, by the way, is right wing. It leans right wing.
No government statistic shows what you're saying. It's showing the exact opposite, that 60 to 75% of the political violence is committed by people on the right. But yet you, the president, the vice president, the attorney general of the United States are giving false information to the American people that it only happens on the left and that it is.
False information about Republicans. You guys have called.
But there's no facts to what you're saying.
So she said, well, then you guys, so he's saying this is all false information you're giving out, including like the attorney general and the president saying that the left is more violent than the right. Every study shows that like 70+% of political violence comes from the right wing. Then she's like, well, you guys give out false information about us, calling us Nazis or fascists.
It happens on the left and that it is.
False information about Republicans. You guys have called.
But there's no facts to what you're saying.
Kamala Harris called us fascists while she was running for president.
The president called her fascist as well.
And you in the media.
That's true. Donald Trump called her a fascist. So like I don't. What do you want? Phil's not responding to the court ruling it.
While she was running for president.
The president called her fascist as well.
And you in the media have amplified that. You all have done that. A man was killed last week for having the, quote, national conversation that you want to have so peacefully. He did that, and he was murdered for it. And I live...
You don't know if that's true. You don't know what you don't know what the motivation is. Do you have evidence of that?
Well, they said on the bullets, there was fascist commentary on the bullets, pro-transgender commentary on the bullets.
That's a lie, right?
Don't give me the bullshit that
could very well be so, but we don't know if that's true right now.
Was a transgender, was a tranny. Come on, let's be honest about this. Don't give me the bullshit that
could very well be so, but we don't know if that's true right now.
Was a transgender, was a tranny. Come on, let's be honest about this.
That's disrespectful.
Republicans vote to table.
I really don't care.
Phil is letting his audience say he was there, so. Whoever the driver was that drove him in, actually, I've got some update. I don't want to cover too much. It's just the whole news cycle has been fucking Charlie Kirk. But Phil was saying that, or someone saw in the rearview mirror that the driver of Charlie Kirk's vehicle basically had like a fade, like they had like a buzz cut down here, and then it got longer at the top. And they're saying that was Phil, and he's sharing their post of them saying it as if he's saying he was the driver that was there. There's also some type of weird thing where if he wears like a Nike shirt, that means he's lying or something. They figured out. It's wild, but here is you remember the guy in the white hat that the conspiracy theorists said that he was signaling like baseball signals to the shooter for some reason. No one knows why, but why I don't know why you'd have to signal a sniper. Like a sniper can just take a shot, but whatever. He actually came out and spoke out. So this is him.
Anyway, on our way in, we had drone footage of the crowd building. And Charlie had it on his phone. I said, Charlie, I don't like this place. There are too many buildings. Charlie just kind of brushed it off because, look, we have a security team, and he wasn't going to cancel an event. And as far as we knew, the university police were there, and they would scout out the place and put people in appropriate positions. I don't know any of the details on this now, but that was the thought anyway.
So they're trying to blame the university, obviously.
So we get there, we pray, we get out of the car. There's a whole bunch of TPUSA leaders there that want to pose for pictures. Charlie graciously poses for pictures. He posed for a picture with me, and we'll show this picture here. This is me, Charlie, and in the middle is Butch Hibbs. That's the brother of.
So that's the guy, white shirt, white hat. That's the one that they're saying signal, the first signal. The other guy in black shirt, he's the head of Charlie's security. Has been with him for years.
Jack Hibbs, Pastor Jack Hibbs. And he came to the event, wanted to meet us both, so we took a picture. This picture was taken maybe 20 minutes before the assassin struck.
Yeah, but so technically, they didn't have to provide any cops. I know they provided 6 cops for like crowd control and direction and shit. They're responsible for taking care of their student body. They're not responsible for Charlie Kirk. A lot of times they make them provide their own security and whatever level they want.
We head right into the base of the amphitheater. Charlie's like, welcome to the big leagues. I mean, they're just people everywhere.
It would be a crazy burden to put on every university that if Charlie's just like, I'm just going to show up with a table and speak outside, that suddenly they have to have fucking counter snipers and bulletproof glass and like, how could you keep up with that? Steven Crowder, I don't know how Charlie Kirk does it. Steven Crowder a lot of times wouldn't even tell the schools that he was coming ahead of time.
We'll show you some footage here. I mean, they were all everywhere. I've never seen a crowd so enthusiastic to see Charlie. So Charlie starts flipping these hats. You know, he's got the Make America Great Again hats, the 47 hats. And so I'm just kind of standing there, and someone on staff just hands me a row of hats. So I go, I guess I get to flip them too. So I'm flipping them all over the place. And people are just excited. They're chanting, USA, USA. I mean, they just love Charlie. So I start FaceTiming my wife and say, look at this. This is incredible. And I start FaceTiming my son and my daughter-in-law while Charlie sits down and begins to ask questions. Now, this is where you may have seen an internet conspiracy. The man in the white hat was giving signals to the shooter. Yeah, the man in the white hat.
This guy is not part of security. The guy in the black shirt was the head of security.
It's me, okay? I did this with my hat. Maybe I touched my nose or something while I'm holding my phone because I'm FaceTiming my son and daughter-in-law. And they're huge Charlie fans. So I'm maybe 30 feet from Charlie. I'm right off his right elbow. I'm standing probably just off camera if the camera's going forward on him. I'm maybe about his 3:30 or 4 o'clock. And I'm just filming away. And by the way, to show you how stupid this is, they thought Dan, his main security guy, was giving signals too. Signals for what? You don't need signals. There's a sniper up there. He doesn't need anyone to signal anything. He can look through a scope and see what's going on. We think he's looking through a scope and going, what's the signal? What am I? It's crazy that people actually believe this stuff. But, you know, if it's on the internet, it must be true, right? Don't believe in these crazy conspiracy theories. You need evidence. It's ridiculous. I didn't even know about it for probably 36 hours after the murder or 30 hours after the murder. We were in a bubble. We were just paying attention to the family. We were just paying attention to the friends. Didn't go on the internet much. When I finally meet my wife back in Phoenix, she goes, there are millions of people who think you were in conspiracy to kill Charlie. I'm like, what? That's crazy. So thanks to my friends Lisa Childers and Seth Dillon.
Welcome to the right wing.
They tried to clear the air on that. We still have people say, oh yeah, we need to check into this guy and this other guy too, that security guy. It's ridiculous. So the first question, Charlie's presenting evidence for the gospel to a Mormon. That's one of the things one of the questions that we had prepared for just before the event. And then he began to answer a question on trans violence. Someone was saying, oh, should we take guns away from trans people? Well, in light of what happened, the answer is yes. Because right about then, I hear this pop. It sounded like it was close. We later learned it was from...
Would taking, let's say tomorrow Trump passes a law that if you're transgendered, you can't own a firearm. Would that have stopped this? Would that have prevented this? Is that his claim here?
Over 100 yards away. And out of the corner of my eye, I see Charlie go back. And so I start to head toward...
I'm going to be honest with you. I saw Destiny on Pierce Morgan. Okay? Yeah, Andrew Wilson was there. Jack Posobiec was there. Anna Kasparian was there. Destiny was there. I'm not sure who else. And Destiny has radicalized me. Not to do something violent, not to do something crazy. His current stance is, I'm not condemning anything until the fucking president of the United States comes out and says both sides need to chill out. And the argument that got me is everybody on that panel, including Pierce Morgan, the people on the left, the people on the right, everybody on that panel is attacking Destiny. And when Destiny comes back and says, You're right? I'm not condemning it publicly. I'm not doing it. That is crazy. But why can't the president do it? And they're like, why does it matter what the president does? You have a huge audience. The president has a bigger audience, right? You influence a lot of people. The president influences more people. You have a lot of power. The president has more fucking power. And it's crazy that the entire panel was there to attack Destiny because he wouldn't condemn the murder of Charlie Kirk. but they didn't convene a panel for Trump to condemn it. They weren't all on panels saying, "Oh my God, Trump should be condemning the like the violence on the right." Like no one, they're holding a person that streams on YouTube and makes edgy tweets at a higher level than the President of the United States.
Charlie, and I see that the security guys are already there. So then I duck thinking, okay, maybe there's other shots coming. And then I'm still on the phone. And my daughter-in-law told me these were the first words out of my mouth. No. So I went.
Fox just gifted 1 subs.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the gifted sub.
I went behind. There's like a backdrop. Charlie's sitting here as a backdrop. I'm over here. So I go behind because I know the security guys are taking him out the other side. So I'm running with them toward the car. And the phone is still on. And ladies and gentlemen, I was afraid that at some point this was going to happen. I thought that somebody would take a shot at Charlie. And I think maybe Charlie did at some point think so too, but he thought that the security was good. And his security team was good. But somebody way up there, whoever should have had that blew.
Jessif just resubscribed for 38 months.
38 months. Thank you very much for your subscription. I appreciate it.
I don't know who that was. But I thought about what would I do? What would I do if that happened and I was there? Now, here's what Erica wants me to relate on Sunday. This is going to be the hard part, but maybe also the comforting part. Charlie Kirk was literally like a son to me. I have 3 sons. He was like my 4th son. My 3 sons are a little bit older than Charlie. He was like my 4th son. So when he was hit, if your son got hit, what would you do? What would you do? I got in the car. Because if there was any way I could save him, I had to do something. I couldn't just take him. You guys got it. So
this guy is a big Christian apologist, I guess is the way I would classify him. He's a public speaker. He's an author. He was Charlie's mentor.
I'm in the side of the car. It was an SUV. It was the SUV we took over. And I'm on one side, and there's actually some video of this. Somebody's taking a video of this. I'm on one side of the car, the right side, and they're getting Charlie in. So I run over to the other side, but the guy was dragging him in. It's now blocking that entrance. So at that point, I run around to the back. I pop the back gate open, and I jump in the back. The car lurches forward. Apparently, somebody jumped in the car. So the car lurches forward, so I almost fall out of the car, or the SUV. Then I grab the thing and close it, and there's 5 of us in the car now. Justin's driving. Dan is up front with the GPS. Rick has got him. Rick's on my left, and Brian is there, and I'm coming over the back seat, and Charlie's laid out in front, just right in front of me. And Charlie's so tall, we can't close the door. We drove 4 miles, I don't know, it's 4-something miles, all the way to the hospital with the door open. To this day, I don't know how Brian stayed in the car, because we're just, go. We're trying to stop the bleeding. You saw it. And I'm yelling, come on, Charlie, come on. Meanwhile, my phone is still on. My son and daughter-in-law are hearing this whole thing. And his security team, again, Justin, Dan, Brian, and Rick, they love Charlie. But they were much cooler than I mean, they're just carrying out, they're calmly, but they're swiftly doing exactly what they were trained to do. Rick starts praying out loud. I'm praying out loud. We're yelling, come on, let's go. My son's hearing all this. And we're doing the best we can to navigate traffic. It's not a highway. We're on surface streets. And suddenly there's an ambulance coming toward us. And there was conversation in the car. Should we stop? We're like, no, just keep going. The doctor later said that was the right thing to do. Ambulance goes by us. We're still heading to the hospital, trying to get there. At one point, somebody says, let's get there in one piece because we're cutting through intersections. We're just beeping the horn. This is not an emergency vehicle. There's no lights. There's none of this. And I go, we got to start CPR. So I try and start that. Now.
Yeah, so it's like a modern push on Christianity where they tried to give objective reason and evidence that Christianity is true. It's a lot of jumping through hoops, but that's what he does.
Charlie wasn't there. His eyes were fixed. He wasn't looking at me. He was looking past me right into eternity. He was with Jesus already. He was killed instantly and felt absolutely no pain. That's what I was told later. But of course, we had to try. And by the way, there was just nothing any of us could do about it. We were giving him CPR, but nothing was happening. It wasn't like if we had better first aid or we had better medical facilities or we were faster to the hospital, we could have saved him. We couldn't. So if that's any comfort at all, Charlie didn't suffer. He was gone. He was with Jesus, absent from the body, present with the Lord. That's where he was. Now, it is true, when we got to the hospital and they started working on him right away, they did get a pulse back. And so Rick and I were just, everyone's praying. We're just praying for a miracle. We had a small sliver of hope. And the doctor later said that we got a pulse because Charlie was a very healthy man, but the shot was catastrophic. So 20 or 30 minutes.
That pulse was probably some type of false reading, right? Or trying the best you can, even though I don't think they got a pulse. Like he said earlier, he was dead when he's hit.
The surgeon came out and said he was dead. Now,
if he would have been shot in the operating room, they wouldn't have been able to save him, right? If it would have been a slice in the same spot in the waiting room of the hospital, they probably wouldn't have been able to save him. There are people that are in surgery and get the part of their jugular cut in surgery by accident, and they can't save them.
First of all, the hospital staff and the law enforcement were amazing. But let me tell you who the heroes were in this whole thing. We're going to start with 23-year-old Mikey McCoy, who is Charlie's chief of staff and the son of Pastor Rob McCoy and his wife Michelle. Charlie considered Rob his pastor. And Charlie hired Mikey, I don't know, almost right out of high school. And Mikey, demonstrating the wisdom and coolness well beyond his years, just like Charlie did, immediately contacted Erica and sent a plane to get her and some other friends and co-workers.
This is another weird lie. I guess they say it because like it makes you sound like you're evil if you bring it up. But over and over and over and over and over again, we've heard he was assassinated right in front of his wife and kids. Well, no, he wasn't. I understand it's on video. I get that. But he wasn't. That's just not true, factually.
He called the president, the vice president of the United States. He quizzed the doctors, asked them hard questions. He dealt with the police, the FBI. We're all being interviewed by the FBI. He scheduled the funeral home. And a couple hours later, transportation, hotels, Air Force Two. Mikey McCoy is an absolute hero. And keep in mind, he's doing all this after his best friend and boss was just martyred before his eyes. This is the kind of people that Charlie hired. TPUSA, look, I was in the Navy for 8 years. I know good quality people when I see them. They have people who I would put up against anyone. They're tremendous servants, tremendously capable people. Let me just name a few of them who were involved in all this. Catherine LaCastro came up with Erica. Man, amazing woman, young, I don't know, in her 20s somewhere, but she was helping Mikey organize everything. Andrew Colvett, man, you know Andrew, he is the producer of the Charlie Kirk Show. He wasn't there, but he got there quickly with his wife. Amazing man, and you can see what he's doing on the Charlie Kirk Show right now. Danny Phillip, a newly hired researcher. Let me just show you what kind of attention to detail these people have. Let me just say that when the three of us in the back of the SUV got to the hospital, we had to change our clothes. And so they all gave us scrubs. So when we all get to a hotel later that night in Salt Lake City, Mikey looks at me and he says, I'm going to go get you some new clothes. I go, why, Mikey? I can wear these scrubs. No, you want new clothes for tomorrow. Air Force Two's coming. You don't have to wear scrubs. I'll go. So he delegated to Danny to go buy me clothes. Can you imagine this level of detail? Their boss has just died. Their friend has just died, martyred. And they're worried about whether I'm in scrubs or not. In fact.
So there you go. That's him speaking out. Clear. Obviously, he wasn't giving hand signals. A sniper from Hot doesn't need any signals. I don't understand what the argument for signals even is. Like, get him now. I don't understand. And then there are a lot of people sharing tidbits of Charlie Kirk and saying, well, no, he wasn't homophobic because this, or he wasn't racist because this. And a lot of times it looks like older video. Why does it look like older video? 2017, 2018, 2019 Charlie Kirk was a lot different than current Charlie Kirk. Okay? A lot different. The right wing was a lot different in 2018, 2019 than it pre-Trump. Everybody ramped up their rhetoric. Okay? Trump came in. This is another argument against Trump and him bringing the rhetoric to this bullying point. Here is a pretty clear-cut example of what I'm talking about.
All right, the amount of lies I've seen go around about this man is kind of insane.
How did I end up on Black Conservative TikTok? And how is Black Conservative TikTok even a thing? You know what? It doesn't matter. Let's just show why this guy's argument doesn't hold up.
He said that Martin Luther King was awful and not a good person.
The first one is that he's homophobic, doesn't like gay people, has a problem with them.
Yeah, those would be true claims about Charlie Kirk.
Watch this interaction.
Look how old this video looks. It's hard to tell. Like in 2019, this is like cutting edge. You would know a difference, but so much has changed since then, right? Look how low quality, how shitty this video looks.
they do in their private life concern you so much?
Okay, so Kirk apologists have drawn on this video that shows Kirk rebuking a homophobe and used this as evidence that Charlie Kirk can't then be a homophobe, can he? There are multiple problems with this, but let's focus on one. This clip is from Charlie Kirk's 2019 Culture War tour. This was pre-COVID Charlie, and that Charlie held a lot of different opinions. He accepted, for instance, that there's a separation of church and state, which by 3 years later, he did not. You see, he got more crazy as the conservative movement in the United States got more crazy. So if you really want to find Charlie's mature views on gay people, you gotta jump ahead to like 2022. So what was he saying then? Well, things like this.
So here is a San Francisco gay men's choir singing They Will Convert Your Children.
They'll convert your children, then we'll turn to you, giving.
So if you couldn't tell, that's the San Francisco gay men's choir singing a song that is a piece of satire. It's satire exactly because there's no one converting children to be gay. But Charlie, what do you think?
Will convert your children is the chorus they keep on repeating. In case you missed what they were singing, it's demented. This is the thing that people have to realize about the alphabet mafia, is that it's not just about two dudes being able to get married. And they won the Obergefell, right, decision? National takeover of our laws, an unprecedented federal takeover. No one wanted to oppose them. Like, okay, this will get rid of the gay issue. That's what we thought, right? Instead, they now want to corrupt your children.
So that's Charlie Kirk responding to a satirical song, making exactly the opposite of the point that he's responding to. He opposed gay rights, he opposed gay marriage, and he thought that the alphabet mafia was coming for your children. Yeah, he was a homophobe. Please stop bending history to try and make Charlie Kirk into something he was not.
They're trying to deify him. They're trying to make him a saint.
A good person. Jesus is disappointed.
I don't have any problem with people saying I like that guy. You know, I agreed with that guy. I probably have an issue with the substance of that, right? Why did you agree with him? But like the people that are trying to make him out like he was just this hero who just wanted people to talk. He never said a bad word about anybody. He just wanted to discuss topics and facts. It's just a fucking lie.
Do better.
And then we can, I even found a really, really, really good video that breaks down Charlie's tactics. Check this out. It's kind of a longer video, but it's worth it.
You're taking them out of context. I've had a hyperfixation on combating manipulative communication since middle school. I studied Nazi propaganda in college and have continued my education since. He's not a Nazi. Do you want to know how these people manipulate you? Fine. I'm about to show you a pattern Cook often used, layering several manipulation tactics. Other of his ilk use the same. First, he starts with an inflammatory statement.
If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified.
So
that's that preacher down in Texas or whatever.
He was a great debater. In context, it's a dog whistle to his most extreme followers. Come on! It's also what's called an anchor for him to refer to later. We'll get to that, so hold on till the end for multiple revelations. Okay, yeah, but in context. But in context, next he says...
It's not an immediate...
No, you wouldn't
That's
have done
not
that
who I
before.
am. That's not what I believe.
See? That tactic is called inoculating, giving him plausible deniability. You're grasping at straws. Watch for this pattern. A dog whistle awful statement followed by a softening of the awful statement with a new statement. This is a type of moral laundering. Try to keep up with all these terms. And all this is bad. This gives his followers the ability to weaponize the first part while providing them an escape route with the second. Now, you wanted to see the full quote in full context, right? Full? Yeah. Pay real close attention here to what he says in these next few.
I want to be as blunt as possible because now I'm connecting two dots.
So this is authority framing, where he signals he is an expert about to reveal a hidden truth. So get to his hidden truth.
Wait a second. The CEO just said that he's forcing that a white qualified guy is not going to get the job.
A straw man and a false claim mischaracterizing
That's not how DEI works.
diversity hiring as forcing out qualified white men win, which is a zero-sum narrative. You keeping up? It's also scapegoating, which shifts blame of his own prejudice to an external villain, i.e. DEI and black pilots. And it is white victim inversion, casting the dominant group as the harmed party.
That's a lot.
It is, but he ain't done.
So I see this guy, he might be a nice person. I say, boy, I hope he's not a Harvard-style affirmative action student. He landed half of his flight simulator, trials.
He landed half of his flight simulator trials. What?
Implying that the black guy still could have gotten his commercial pilot certification.
I know who he is.
Crashed half his simulations. You're starting to get it. It's a loaded example with the purpose.
What he's saying is white people are being pushed out of jobs just so they can get a black person there. And these black people, a white person would land all the flight simulations, but a black person, I hope he landed half of them.
Of poisoning the well, and a tactic of specificity illusion. He names a prestigious school, Harvard. He uses a made-up situation that he frames almost like it's a statistic to make it seem like this was actually a thing that happened sometime. But it didn't? But it didn't. Now remember that first statement?
If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified.
See how it is an anchor? He keeps referring back to it, building layers of a case to rationalize that awful thing he said. But he takes it in a new direction, blaming DEI for it. Has he said one verifiable statement yet? I mean, DEI does mean less qualified. And you believe that because guys like Kirk. Now, he keeps going on this rant, but we're running out of time. The truth is, not a single pilot or aviation professional has ever gotten their certification if they haven't passed the same standards everyone else has. His crashed half their simulation.
It's a set of standards, right? You have to have so many hours. You have to have so much experience. You have to be signed off on by the certain people. It doesn't matter if you're white, black, or whatever.
Argument is hogwash because you need a minimum of 40 hours actual flight time, not a simulator, just to get a private pilot's license before you can even start the certification process for your commercial license. And most instructors don't sign off on you until you've done 60 to 80 hours. Then there's the 250 minimum in an actual aircraft to get commercial, and then 1,500 minimum actual flight hours to be an airline pilot on top of your flight simulation hours. And the thing Kirk's arguments ignore is that if an instructor passes someone who is incompetent, their instructor license can be revoked. They don't do that. So what's DEI? Grants that fund outreach initiatives to get.
DEI goes out and says, hey, we let's say 13% of the population is black, and we only have 1% of our pilots. So maybe we should start advertising in like black neighborhoods or newspapers, or maybe we should start like programs in schools where typically black people might live, and get them interested in aviation, right? To put something is keeping them from becoming pilots. Because if the world was perfect, then whatever the population would be, we'd have that represented in our employees. So something's there. Maybe we start outreach programs to kind of show them that they can be pilots, that there is a path forward, that we can do this, that there's ways that they can get there as well, instead of just saying, oh, well, black people will show up eventually.
Get underrepresented.
Or any other minority group.
Populations interested in aviation. Funding for colleges and universities, including HBCUs, to develop and expand aviation training and pipelines. Grants and scholarships that provide a means for those who can't afford the astronomical cost of...
It has nothing to do with outcomes, right? It has nothing to do with outcomes. They just want everybody to have the same chance. That's it.
Aviation schools and all of these programs.
If it was outcome based, they would come to you and fine you if you didn't have enough black pilots or enough Mexican pilots or enough female pilots or whatever. It's not.
Are optional. No corporate or private entity is forced to do them. There has been drastic shortage of pilots and aviation personnel since Reagan's disastrous policies.
There has been a shortage of commercial pilots and all aviation jobs, really, since Reagan. So why would it... Who the fuck thinks that white people are not getting jobs so black people... That isn't happening, but it causes anger in some people, right? When it hits their head, I'm a white person, and you're telling me if I was to become a pilot that I couldn't do it because they just give the job to some black person who's not qualified?
Which made training unaffordable, among numerous other issues. But now now, because of DEI cuts, the shortage is getting worse. They weren't taking white people's spots. They have more spots than applicants.
That's a lot to take in.
So back to our subject. Be aware of this propaganda tactic. Inflammatory dog whistle statement immediately followed to deny or soften that statement.
So they can say something crazy racist and then say, no. It's not racist because what I'm basing it on is all these lies, right? To soften it up.
Then rationalize the original statement, doubling down with fallacies and empty arguments. Kirk was not a debater. Kirk was a propagandist who sowed hate through manipulative.
Kirk didn't go after other prominent debaters on the left, right? He went after college kids.
Bad faith rhetoric.
Same with Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder ducks all kinds of fucking debates. So does Charlie Kirk. Why wouldn't Charlie Kirk debate Destiny? It's weird.
I believe we should release the Epstein files.
I agree.
So we have the breakdown of the tactics. That was a really good video. It was from Jeremy Andrew Davis on TikTok. And then we have, this is also, I guess, to do with Charlie. This is what I wanted to do. I just couldn't find mine. Or I don't know. I guess it's in storage right now. I didn't have it on hand, I guess.
This is what Tyler supposedly had in his pants. When he climbed down that thing, jumping, bending his legs and all that in ways that me and a lot of other people said, it's completely impossible.
I went back and watched the security footage. And I saw someone explain it to me. His backpack is actually pretty slim and on his back in the security footage. And the thing that's in his hand that kind of has looks like it has loose ends is actually the rifle wrapped in some type of dark cloth towel or whatever. But there's still Ring video footage of him bending his knee and people saying it's impossible. This guy has the exact weapon. The exact weapon. And he's got it down his pants. He's bending his knee.
That somebody could do that with a 4-foot long thing in his pants. But you know what? I do that all the time. I have that same 4-foot long thing going from my ankle up to my shoulder, and this is how I carry it. And you know what? You can bend the knee. Look.
So they're showing this Ring footage and saying, oh my God, look how far his knee is bent. Well, in a walk, your knee rarely bends that far anyways, right? I understand at some points it looked like he had a limp. I think that's because it was the way he had to move to keep it from sliding down or moving. But when he's walking and his knee is bent, it's just secured. They just did it. This is perfect.
Look, you can walk bending the knee like this. You can dance a jig. You can dance a jig with this in your pants. I do it all the time. I go to the club.
Especially if the pants were looser than this.
Like this. And you know what? I climb over walls. With this in my pants, I can climb over and scale a railing. I do it all the time. Like that. The bolt actually holds it in place. So with this thing in my pants, ow.
He even climbs over this railing, right?
In place, so you don't need any extra slings or anything like this. You can just walk around with it, and you can just climb over railings, and then dance another victory jig with it in your pants. It's totally possible that the kid at least had it with him.
100%. I wish I could have found, I wish I would have went and got my Mauser out and saw how he's been in his knee. I understand that looks weird. We can go back and watch the security cam footage again as well. But, let's see. He can definitely bend his knee some, depending on how tight his pants were. And the limping makes sense. right? Because maybe it's starting to move or slide or less secured, and he's kind of holding it in place until he can get to an area where he can make it more secured. The bending in the knee makes sense on the Ring camera. Yeah, a lot of it can be possible now, I think. All right, here we go. So what they're saying is that his backpack was thin and to his body. He was wearing his backpack on his back, and he has the firearm in his hand wrapped in the dark cloth. And someone even said he dropped it from the roof, then picks it up. I'm not sure. I can't remember. God, the quality's so shitty. But there is something in his hand. And it's pretty long and thin. Sorry, I'm going frame by frame. He leans all the way over the side. God, this is... I'm having to hit the button like 6 times for each frame. Such shitty quality, but whatever. I can't believe this guy that's just like walking right here didn't see something. Even out of the corner of his eye. All right, here's the drop when he's hanging off the side of the building. Backpack is on the back. Can you guys see that, or do I need to zoom in? The backpack is on his back. So it's not his bag he's carrying. This is clearly the backpack here compared to his body, and he's a pretty skinny guy. Down. Picks it back up. And continues on his way. I understand people are saying like the end is like flapping in the wind. It's something soft. Well, that's how you'd expect a cloth that's like wrapped on a rifle at the end, right? It would be flapping around. It would be doing its own thing. It's not going to be in the shape of a gun. That would defeat the purpose, right? All right, we can watch it now. Zoom in. It is stiff in his hand there. Down. It does flap a couple times, but it's stiff when he gets back on the ground as well. When he starts walking away with it here. Stiff again. I don't like being a conspiracy person. I would rather be like, is this at least plausible? I said it might be down his back, only because I saw the kind of this bulge from, and it's probably the backpack strap, but it might be all the way down his back, down his pants, but it could also be right here at his belly, down his pants. And it seems like he'd be, that knee right there is no more bent than the guy we just watched. I would imagine it's down this pants leg, and that's why he's leading with that foot, because it's not going to bend as well as the other foot. Let's check this out.
And accused of assassinating conservative activist Charlie Kirk, now charged with 7 counts, including aggravated murder, as prosecutors now pursue the death penalty.
State of Utah versus Tyler James Robinson. Could you state your name?
Tyler James Robinson. 22-year-old Tyler Robinson appearing in court for the first time Tuesday after Utah County Attorney Jeff Gray outlined his case against the suspect, linking him to that single fatal shot of the third.
He's going to take a plea deal.
Father of 2.
Counting or not counting gang violence? Great.
Prosecutors say the suspect's DNA was found on the rifle's trigger and laid out the evidence they say tied him to the crime, sharing these photos that reached millions of people, including the suspect's mother.
Robinson's mother saw the photo of the shooter in the news and thought the shooter looked like her son.
Prosecutors say the suspect's father then got Robinson on the phone.
Robinson implied that he was the shooter and stated that he couldn't go to jail and just wanted to end it. When asked why he did it, Robinson explained there is too much evil and the guy, referring to Charlie Kirk, spreads too much hate.
Authorities say his parents detailed a shift in their son.
Robinson's mother explained that over the last year or so, Robinson had become more political and had started to lean more to the left, becoming more pro-gay and trans rights oriented. She stated that Robinson began to date his roommate, a biological male who was transitioning genders.
The prosecutor says the roommate then handed over incriminating messages from the suspect.
The roommate received a text message from Robinson which said, "Drop what you're doing, look under my keyboard."
They might not. They might not offer him a plea just because they need this to be like public, to probably have a chilling effect. Plus, you know, they want to protect their friends in the White House.
The roommate looked under the keyboard and found a note that stated, quote, "I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it."
According to authorities, he then explained his motive for allegedly murdering.
Honestly, it was a pretty good plan for 1 week.
Kirk.
Robinson, "I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out."
The suspect also allegedly telling his roommate he'd been planning the attack for a little over a week. And now investigators trying to determine whether he acted alone or if the people he was allegedly communicating with on the messaging app Discord knew what he planned to do.
Do you believe that the suspect was a lone wolf, or could this be part of a
I can't comment on that. I'm not aware of all their investigation. I just know that these agencies are continuing to investigate this case and follow all leads.
Now, that vest the suspect was wearing is called a suicide prevention smock. Unsurprisingly, he was denied bail and his next court appearance was set for September 29th. But first, the judge says he has to be provided with a public defender qualified for a death penalty case. Robin.
All right, Matter. Thanks to you.
Throw his whole life away, man.
Okay. So
I'm not publicly making any statements about it until the president can fucking say both sides need to chill out.
Okay, so if your roommate is trans, it's so easy to be radicalized. But a 15-year friendship with Jeffrey Epstein, how well can you really ever know somebody? Right. You know, Megyn Kelly said the problem was college, except for the 2 she got degrees from. Look, don't you have any emotional connection to what happened in Utah? Yes, even though I was told empathy isn't real. Now that is the left, just dismissing an important message by generalizing. Black lives matter. All lives matter. Look, name one time a conservative encouraged violence. Knock the crap out of protesters? No, something specific. Give the homeless involuntary lethal injections? No, something specific to someone specific. Hang Mike Pence. Well, at least this kid was caught thanks to the leadership of the FBI, taking the phone call of the people who wanted to turn him in. And I trust Kash Patel. Oh, like when he said there will be no missing documents in the Epstein case? You mean the Epstein hoax? Oh yeah, because Trump wasn't close to Epstein. Nope. But he was an informant on the inside, right? But the signatures on the birthday card were forged. Yeah. Except Bill Clinton's. Well, he wasn't the only one fascinated with childhood curiosity.
Very good. I will watch it again.
So if your roommate is trans, it's so easy to be radicalized. But a 15-year friendship with Jeffrey Epstein, how well can you really ever know somebody? Right. You know, Megyn Kelly said the problem was college, except for the 2 she got degrees from. Look, don't you have any emotional connection to what happened in Utah? Yes, even though I was told empathy is...
Adam says, how the hell did we get here? Thank you very much for the buy me a coffee. I don't know why they're not popping up right now. I probably need to update it, but thank you very much. How the hell did we get here? I don't fucking know.
Isn't real. Now that is the left, just dismissing an important message by generalizing. Black lives matter. All lives matter. Look, name one time a conservative encouraged violence. Knock the crap out of protesters? No, something specific. Give the homeless involuntary lethal injections? No, something specific.
I don't want to go as far as saying that the messages are fake. All I'm saying is it does not sound like the person they're describing. A terminating online fucking meme lord, troll fucking guy talking to a significant other that's also young. Like, it doesn't sound like young people talking at all. If I found that on my son's phone, he's 14. If I found that, I'd be like, who the fuck? What old person was texting on your phone?
Someone specific. Hang Mike Pence. Well, at least this kid was caught.
Awesome. U.S. Coast Guard boot camp on Friday. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Injections? No, something specific to someone specific. Hang Mike Pence. Well, at least this kid was caught thanks to the leadership of the FBI, taking the phone call of the people who wanted to turn him in. And I trust Kash Patel. Oh, like when he said there will be no missing documents in the Epstein case? You mean the Epstein hoax? Oh yeah, because Trump wasn't close to Epstein. Nope. But he was an informant on the inside, right? But the signatures on the birthday card were forged. Yeah. Except Bill Clinton's. Well, he wasn't the only one fascinated with childhood curiosity.
Yeah, it's out there, I guess. It's amazing the hoops they'll jump through to blame the other side. I don't know. It's crazy. And Trump going on Fox News saying, well, the radical right, they just want justice, right? They want law and order. And the radical left, they'll kill you. Okay. And then we have, that's led to stuff like this. This guy's running for political office.
I peacefully entered the building, went through several lines of police officers. The police officers knew I was there. They didn't have a problem with it. Never once told me to get out. Was in the Capitol building for about 30 to 40 minutes with the police officers, and then left. And that's when the counterterrorism unit of the FBI came and arrested me.
Did you think what happened? What about, did you see the people busting out windows? And what did you think of that?
When I saw that, again, I don't know them. I didn't speak to them. I don't know anything, whether they were Antifa or part of another organization. January 6th was overwhelmingly peaceful. It was a family-friendly event. I describe it like a pep rally, a carnival-like atmosphere, and wonderful people.
A pep rally carnival. There you go. Breaking out the dress blues. It was a pep rally carnival. Inside January 6th. What about the people that were beating the cops and breaking out windows? I just figured they were Antifa.
You hope that Charlie Kirk's death won't be used by a group we now call bad actors to create a society that was the opposite of the one he worked to build. You hope that. You hope that a year from now, the turmoil we're seeing in the aftermath of his murder won't be leveraged to bring hate speech laws to this country. And trust me, if it is, if that does happen, there is never a more justified moment for civil disobedience than that, ever. And there never will be. Because if they can tell you what to say, they're telling you what to think. There is nothing they can't do to you because they don't consider you human. They don't believe you have a soul. A human being with a soul, a free man, has a right to say what he believes, not to hurt other people, but to express his views.
Maybe calling out the current administration, hard to say.
Sometimes I fall
I know you guys wanted to see this again. You're welcome.
to my knees and pray. Come, Jesus, come. Let today be the day.
Well done, good and faithful servant.
They're getting better. They're getting better. Charlie goes to heaven. Now, to end on something good, we're going to check out NF Elementary, their updates, because there was a pretty big one.
I have failed you.
You guys remember when I covered this? She uses the NFL and her love of the NFL. Her kids draft teams, but she teaches everything from like dealing with your emotions to like math and geography, everything, which is pretty fucking awesome, right? the NFL has picked up on this and is helping her and sending out packages and shit like that, which is good. And there was an update. I think it's this one.
Hey, Sebastian, this is Coach Vrabel with the New England Patriots, man. I got a pretty cool letter from you that said that you got to draft us in Mrs. Crippen's class. So, one, I want to thank you for drafting us and believing in us. I also want to encourage you to be a great teammate, to be a great leader, treat people with respect, and most importantly, have fun. Continue to cheer us on. And I'm excited that you guys have picked us, and I want to wish you the best of luck. Look in the mail. I think we're trying to send you something, and hopefully you can wear it proud.
So they recorded a video for him and sent him a package.
This is for the class.
And the Patriots are playing the Dolphins. Is that still this weekend or was that last week? This weekend.
Why don't we see what's for the class, and then we'll dip into... They're supporting a class that they're about to play. Bro. That's pretty cool. They don't have to do that. Sebastian, on your bottom.
It's Sebastian.
It is Sebastian's moment, but he's going to show you what's inside. So you can put your bottom on your chair. You don't need to stand up and look. He's going to show you. Show it to It says class.
Yes.
We wanted to surprise you all with some Patriot goodie bags.
Yay.
We also included a Drake May signed football.
It's a referee bench stool thing. We talked about it last time we covered it.
This is from classroom. Sebastian should pick where we're putting it. Our foam finger, hold a towel. Grab my keys for me, please. Ready?
Sebastian, we are so excited that you drafted us for the 2025 NFL season. To answer your question, yes, we have won a Super Bowl. In fact, we have won 6 Super Bowls. 6? Over the course of our history, we are currently tied with the Pittsburgh Steelers for having the most Super Bowl wins in all of the NFL. Our head coach, Mike Vrabel, actually played on the Patriots for 3 of our 6 Super Bowl wins. Please find a customized Sebastian jersey and some other fun things enclosed for you. Thank you for believing in us and cheering us on. Well,
Listen, we don't
have one of those. King.
They made him a custom jersey, which is cool.
A water bottle, glasses. Hold up that jersey. Where are you going to wear that?
They sent him tickets to the game because they're playing in Miami this weekend for him and his dad.
The Patriots are sending you and your dad to the game. Free tickets. You're going to the game.
These kids will never forget this. This is awesome. It's like feel-good news.
Javed is right. They don't have to do this. Everybody, you're all right. They don't have to do this. None of your teams have had to do any of this. It's a really cool thing, especially when you think about rivalries, when you think about how the Patriots are my rival and our hometown team's rival, but the way that they're still showing this kindness and they're not expecting anything in return. They just wanted to show kindness. It's really cool.
What do you want to bet the teacher ends up at the Super Bowl this year?
Hey, Sebastian, this is Coach Vrabel.
She does this program, I think for $150. She sends you all the binders and stuff and layouts and templates and how to do all of this for your elementary school. Her mom started it back in the day. It's a really cool program. It's got the kids excited about football, which is cool, but more so excited about class. She's had some of the best attendance numbers she's had all year. Like, kids want to show up and see if there's surprises and see if the teams reach out and how the teams are doing. It's I don't know. It's really cool. So that's NFL Elementary. Mary is Bananas. Mary Crippen over on TikTok, or you can just type in NF Elementary, and it'll bring it up. Some cool updates from that. Super excited. All right, guys. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you for being here. It's past 1 o'clock here. I'm going to try to catch up on some sleep again. I slept some yesterday. I still feel rough. Getting old, I think. No, I don't know. I think I've been maybe getting a cold or something. Either way. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I'll see you about the next one. Have a good night. If you want to support the show, do it at buymeacoffee.com/coldbeer. Leave a message. We'll read it out on the show or whatever. Thank you guys for joining us. I hope something else besides fucking Charlie Kirk is in the news soon. Thank you guys. Have a good one. We'll see you about the next one. Love you. See you. Bye. I'm not condemning anything until the president can tell both sides to calm the fuck down. Nothing.
But I can tell you this about if this douchebag happens to see this particular show, you don't have the forking balls to call out the people on this planet by name and tell them exactly who they are and tell them the rest of the world who they are. You don't have the forking balls. You don't have the balls.
Okay, Scott. Here we go. I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well, listen, bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a 6th sense for the stupid shit. Where my true believer? Y'all need Jesus.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Good night.
All these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip. Worshipping drums, cocking, begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers like fool in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, eating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention, I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your huckleberry, I can quench that thirst. Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers. Cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. I used to find clues too when I was high on shrooms. I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom. Open his closet, I found some of his meat rockets. I strapped it to my shoes and then I blew